Do you record a lot with your Podgo? And if so, do you like having recording like a wet track and a dry track? Well, in the manual, there's a section where it shows you how to do, a dry recording along with a wet one, and then it gets into reamping. And to be honest, this reamping, how they describe it in the manual, not as easy as they're making it seem. But I have a sample here, and it's kind of reamping in a way. So what I've done is I've recorded the wet and the dry simultaneously, and what we'll do is we'll take the dry track and we'll slap a third-party plugin on it. So in a way, I mean, you can reamp that way. I mean, you can do it on the Podgo, and like I said, it's not as easy as the couple of steps that they say in the manual. But why don't we just have a look at it? Let's dig right in here. So what I'm going to do is show you how to set this up. So I'm using Logic Pro, so Apple. Got my Mac Mini. So what you would have to do is you have to do 2 tracks, okay? So let's add a track. Let's just say I was going to do my first one. So your first one, and what you're going to have to do is also, before this, you have to make your Podgo as your interface. Now, if you're using like a third-party interface and you run your Podgo into the front of that, well, make sure that you USB out from your Podgo directly into your recording, into your computer, okay? So that's the first step. And then next, you're going to add a track. So the first one you're going to do is you're going to look for your inputs, and you want to see input 1 and 2. So hopefully this is going to be, if you're not using Logic Pro, that you can follow along and do that. Find the input selection on your DAW. And then for those who don't know, the DAW is Digital Audio Workstation, which is your software. All right, so you set one up like that. And then the output, I'm going to choose stereo output. Now, in the manual, I think it says choose outputs 1 and 2, but I don't have that option here in Logic. So, okay, so then if I was now do my dry track, you want to select input 3 and 4, okay? And then your output, you want to put as 3 and 4, okay? So, again, I'm in Logic, but this hopefully will translate to your recording software. So anyway, so then I recorded something, and I'm going to actually take the plugin off here. So now I've recorded something, and let's play it. I'll play it in a loop here. Okay, so now if I just solo the first one, this is my preset from the Podgo, the wet. Okay, now I will solo the dry, and I'm going to turn up the speaker volume here, because the dry signal, here, look, I'll even expand the waves here. You're getting like stereo tracks. And you can see this is louder here on your preset, compared to the dry. So let's play the dry. All right, so hopefully that translated. I'm not high tech here, so you're hearing this through the studio monitors through this microphone. But this is to give you an idea. This is not about the sound quality of this video. It's to give you an idea and instruction on how to do this. Okay, so now the Podgo manual says, create another track, and then you're going to have to route. You're basically taking. If you create another track, you want that to be. It says input 1 and 2. But that didn't work in Logic. So what I did is I ran input 3 and 4. And then on the preset itself, you would go to the far left, the input button, and then, press it to get your menu selection. And then instead of saying guitar input, you want it to say USB 3.4. So I'm going to do some more work on that and try and get you a proper video on how to actually reamp through your Podgo. But this is another way of reamping, but this is using a plugin, okay? So now I'm going to put the plugin on, and I'm using a 2 Notes Genome. So now my plug is on. All right, so I'm going to mute that. So I'm going to play again the Podgo preset. Here's my... Okay, so I added a plugin to my dry track, and you can hear, what it did. So you could take any third-party plugin and apply this principle, okay? Because you might like what you like what you recorded with your original Podgo preset track, and now you have this dry track to work with, and that's the whole point of this, so that you have a dry signal, so that you can add effects or plugins, I don't want to say post-production, but like while you're recording, so that you have another sound. Because, maybe you just don't want to double track the Podgo preset. But anyways, guys, this is how you can do a reamping of sorts with a third-party plugin, okay? So just remember the steps. So make sure that your Podgo is attached directly to your computer, connected to your computer. Make that your your interface. You do 2 tracks. So first track is input 1 and 2, and second track is input 3 and 4, because those are the Podgo inputs and outputs. And then when you get your dry track, which would be your second track, input 3 and 4, that's where you can add a third-party plugin of whatever you want to make it sound how you need it to sound. Okay, so like I said, the reamping, I did have a look at it while I was doing this video, and like I did manage to get to switch a preset on my Podgo and make it work. But again, it didn't jive with what the manual exactly told me to do, and maybe it's because it's Logic Pro. So I don't know what digital audio workstation software they had in mind when they were writing the manual. I'm not saying the manual is wrong or useless by any means, but read it. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to do my best to figure this Podgo reamping, okay? Because this what I've just showed you is reamping in a sense, but you're using, like I said, a third-party plugin or whatever. You could use the stock amps and pedals and whatever you have in your recording software, okay? But I really want to figure out and master how to do Podgo reamp. And what's the benefit of this? Well, it's just having a dry signal. It's this with any recording situation. It's nice to have a dry signal for adding effects, post. Meaning after you've recorded and laid down the track, maybe, with that clean signal, you don't have to worry about something that's already set in stone. For example, you've recorded a guitar with overdrive. Well, what if you don't like that drive sound? Well, you can't take it back. That's how it's laid down in the recording. But having a dry signal, you could add all kinds of types of different overdrives. You can add all kinds of different types of amps and in cab sims. Or you want to add some delay, or maybe you want to copy that track and have one track with delay on it and one track with a ring modulator or something. The point is having a dry signal of what you've recorded, because you like that wet signal that you laid down, but then now you have a dry track to work with that you can just, bend and shape to your will. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button, drop a comment below if you want me to pursue this reamping on the Pod Go video. I'll do my best, because like I said, wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. So I did manage to make it work for a second. So I will do more investigating on it. Okay, guys. Feel free to subscribe. And in the meantime, check out this video.